Welcome back to the Texas A&M AgriLife YouTube channel. I'm Tiffany Lashman. I'm here today with two attorneys from Crenshaw, Dupree, and Milam, a law firm in Lubbock, Texas. We've got Amber Miller and Ashley Pirtle. Amber and Ashley have joined me on the Ag Law in the Field podcast to chat about a new law called the Corporate Transparency Act. Ashley, tell us a little bit about this act and how it's going to affect rural landowners and ag producers.
Yes, so the Corporate Transparency Act was passed back in 2021 as part of the National Defense Act on the national level. Practically speaking, for small business owners and farmers and ranchers that own entities, they will be required to report certain reportable information to the FinCEN. And that reportable information is just directly related to their identification and the company's identification.
Got it. Amber, tell us what entities are required to report.
Yeah, thanks, Tiffany. Generally speaking, we say any entity that you had to form a certificate of formation for with your local Secretary of State. So for most of your viewers, may have limited liability companies, corporation, limited partnership. Those types of business organizations are required to do the filing with the federal agency now with FinCEN.
Okay, and importantly, general partnerships not included as reportable entities.
Not included as of today.
Okay, got it. All right, and Ashley, you kind of told us generally what we have to report. So there's kind of three buckets, right, of reporting requirements. The first one's related to the company. The second one's related to the beneficial owners or folks that control the company. And then the third one is for the company applicant, which is the person helping them set all this up. You don't have to walk through it number by number, but generally, what type of information are folks having to report?
So the information is generally related to the entity's legal name, any doing business as names, addresses, identification numbers, and then for the individuals behind the entities, whether they're the beneficial owners or the company applicants, they're reporting their full legal names, addresses, date of birth, and then also a image of either their driver's license or their U.S. passport.
Okay, perfect. And how do people report this information? Amber, it's going to be an online answer. So for folks that don't like computers, this may be problematic.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Within the FinCEN agency website, they have a specific place for this beneficial information reporting. And there's a BOI portal in which you log into and can report the information. And so it's all online. You're right. I say that within the online place, you can print out a form and fill a form in and submit it. But all those forms are located on that BOI website as well.
Right. Okay. And Ashley, talk to us about the deadline for folks having to report this. It's kind of a moving target depending on when your entity was created.
Yes. So if your entity was created before January 1, 2024, then you have until January 1, 2025 to report the information. If your entity was created after January 1, 2024, then you have 90 days to report this information. And then going forward next year, any entities formed after January 1, 2025 have 30 days to report the information.
Okay, got it. Now there's one more wrinkle to this, Amber, that is when information changes, it has to be updated in the system. Talk to us about that.
That's right. Any of the information that Ashley just described, when any of that changes, the rule requires an update report to be filed within 30 days of the change. I think that's probably the most important piece of information for folks to know and to remember. It's one thing to get the notice mailer, to see the information online somewhere, do the initial report, and then just forget about it or not think about it again. But just the constant requirement to be monitoring that, whether it's an address change, who's in charge of the organization, ownership changes, all of those are part of the information the rule requires that if any of them change, an update is required.
Got it. Okay, so big takeaway for folks is if you have a business entity, right? If you've got an LLC, a limited partnership, a corporation, anything like that, you need to make sure that you take care of filing this reporting requirement. Again, it's under the Corporate Transparency Act. You're going to file it with FinCEN online. We'll have links to all this information in the notes below. So Amber, Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thanks for always covering information for your listeners and viewers that are outside the purview of maybe regular ag law, but still do impact these businesses.